Mindanao. Welcome to JCM Integrated News Update. This is Juliet Adrias
and Charmin Riquelme,
bringing your latest Philippine economic news update.
For the headlines, Peso hits all-time low versus dollar amid economic worries and flood control probe.
Philippine unemployment rate hits a 3-month high. ADB or Asian Development Bank's cash growth forecast.
The value of the peso plunges to an estimated 59.2 pesos against the dollar before closing on October 28, 2025 at its lowest value in history. According to the Central Bank of the Philippines or the BSP, this may reflect market concerns about economy being affected by anomalies in flood control projects. Mary-Jean Samson has the details.
The scandal over billions of pesos in kickbacks in anomalous flood control project, it seems to have an effect, especially the importance of the peso. Today, the peso exchange rate against the dollars closed at an all-time low of 59.13 pesos against dollar, the weakest level of the peso. In intraday trading, it rose to an estimated of 59.20 pesos in a statement of the BFP. The recent peso depreciation may reflect market concerns over a potential moderation in economic growth due in part of infra-spending controversy as well as expectations of additional monetary policy easing by BSP. According to a congressman, this shows that corruption is also an economic issue. Now the peso is an all-time low, it's inevitable that consumers are worried. According to an economist, we need to prepare for rising the commodity prices, but some will benefit from the decline of the peso. Good governance is said to be important for the peso to recover. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas said allows the exchange rate to be determined by market forces. When we do participate in market, it is largely to dampen inflationary swings in the exchange rate over time rather than to prevent day-to-day volatility. The peso continues to be supported by resilient remittance and flows still relatively fast economic growth, low inflation, and ongoing structural reforms. Foreign exchange inflows from business, process outside in tourism, and overseas Filipino workers continue to buffer external shocks. Mary-Jean Samson, GMC, Integrated News Update.
Philippine unemployment rate hits 3-month high. ADB or Asian Development Bank's cash growth forecast. More Filipinos jobless in October. The nation's unemployment rate worsens from 3.8% in September to 5% in October, which translates to 2.54 million Filipinos out of work. The statistics office says while a million Filipinos looking for work in October, only less than half of them actually landed jobs. The underemployment rate also up heading to 12% for the month. This meant that 5.81 million employed Filipinos were still seeking for extra hours of work for more income. And ADB cuts growth forecast for 2025-2026 amid corruption scandal. More downgraded forecast for the Philippine economy, the latest to cut its growth outlook, the Asian Development Bank. It revised lower projection from the initial 5.6% in September to now a flat 5%. Next year's expansion rate also seems lower or from 5.7% to 5.3%. ADB, however, expects low inflation and continued central bank rate cuts to support growth next year. While it identified as a care rest what others for lenders and watchers have said, more potential corruptions uncovered in ongoing investigations on the Manila headquarters lender notes lower state spending for third quarter growth.